This is the Glarry GG-101. Very first amp I ever owned. Not the amp, but the make and model. This is the Glarry GGS-101, I think it's called. GlarryMusic.com. These typically only sell for about $190 shipped. This was a gift. This was a gift from, again, our friend Alex Valentine, but this time it was his daughter. So we're in the bedroom because this is exactly where I would have been when I had this rig. And I'm going to refer to it as this rig. Remember, it was a different model of guitar, pretty much the exact same thing. The only thing that were different were the pickups, to be perfectly honest with you. And that amp is exactly the same as mine was, except this one's a little, she's testy. See? Come on, you can do it. You got it. So I need to get in there and clean those contacts. See what I mean? Oh, now she comes back. But what's important here isn't the equipment itself. It's experiencing this as an adult, and looking back at the guy who used to play this. Or this guy. That's how I used to play it, no joke. That was supposed to be Iron Man, by the way. There's no words for it. There's no words for it aside from the giant smile on my face that I'm not letting you see. I'm keeping this one for myself. This is going to be mine and mine alone. I wish I could demo the amp a little bit better for you. But again, it's not about that. We will talk about the guitar itself. I'll do a sit and chat again. So going back to the origins of where I even got the guitar from in the first place. Our friend Alex Valentine's daughter watched the video and wanted to send one along for the emotional points of the whole thing. I'm not going to get into the whole psychology of it, and it worked. There's a lot more parallels between the two guitars than we all anticipated happening, and this is probably going to be the first time they hear about it. But we did an unboxing video, meaning me. I did an unboxing video, and I discovered a number of problems with the thing, and nothing that wasn't fixable, so to speak, and it didn't really hinder much as far as the total playability of the guitar. You got to understand, these Glarrys are usually sub $200 guitars, and she actually got it for a lot cheaper too. They're normally like $180 for this model anyway. I think they said they got it for like $130, so I'm willing to bet it was the ones that were returned and everything. This thing showed up with a couple of nice checks coming out of the face of it, and there was wood chips and sawdust all on the inside, which luckily did not come from the guitar itself. There was this huge silicone packet on the inside. Hopefully I still have the video for that. I'll put it up. But it turned out not to be a silicone packet. It was some of the newspaper from China that they stuffed in here, so when they did the finish, it didn't spray on the inside. They just said, the heck with it, and left it in there. I'm discovering I have to replace the output jack. It doesn't grip onto the actual plug itself, the quarter jack. And of course it came not set up at all, which is to be expected. Pickups were decked down as far as they could go. The sides of the frets were sharp. There's like one that keeps catching the E string. So I'm going to have to work on this thing quite a bit to make it my own. I mean, I've already started by putting a poker chip here. It didn't come with a poker chip, and a lot of these don't. I believe there was some in the 60s or 70s that actually did, but I don't care either way historically. I think it looks best, and I have some witch hat style knobs coming for it, which also I want to get the vibe of an old hippie who had this thing for a generation, easily, for his whole life almost, and now the estate is trying to get rid of it. With all of its flaws, you got to remember the very first one I got had a lot of flaws, a lot of playability issues, where this one does not have that. This just has aesthetic and some building QC kind of crap, which is all doable. And I struggled with the first one, but I remember sitting on the edge of my bed, or in the living room, constantly learning my chords, learning A and G and D, and I'm 2 frets off D. Now it is in tune. What you hear in the off tune is the nut isn't cut high enough or low enough. So I do have to file the nut down, which is common for these things. So don't worry about that. But even still, they felt bad and I felt bad. I thought they'd bought it brand new through the website. And again, turns out they bought it at even more of a discount. So everything is null now. It's okay. And I can see where their disappointment was. And I wasn't. I kept telling them, it's actually perfect. It's perfect. Because when I did sit down and finally just strum it, and I looked down and saw this body, it brought me back to that. It brought me back to looking at that fretboard for the first time and wondering where this is going to go, not thinking it's going to go anywhere. And even though I didn't go anywhere financially or within the business of music, me and guitar have never separated. We have never separated. And there's some things within guitar that have never separated. Me and my dad's acoustic, this strap, I've had this strap for gajillions of years. I even put the LSD sound in there, and I put it on the guitars that I find special. I'm not just doing that for the video. This is the one that's been on here. I said in the video initially that I was going to use a strap that came with it. I was even using the cord that came with the guitar. It came with a decent little cheap cord, But the original video was a bummer, and I didn't want to put that out into the world, especially for Mr. Valentine and his daughter. Because I want them to understand that it wasn't about the quality of the guitar itself. It was obviously the gift itself, the idea, but that's cliche. That's it's true, but it's like, what they don't realize is they gave me more of that memory than they anticipated. And I can't thank them enough for that. I could give my life to them for that. That's how serious this is with me. This is an emotional video. I might tag this as my main video when you come to the channel. So it is getting a Bigsby. It is going to get 59-esque burst style pickups. Obviously, nothing high-end. I'm not going to spend $200 per pickup. But I am going to get something that's going to be nice. And I don't know if I want to do both chrome or if I want to do one chrome and one uncovered, maybe all black bobbins. Again, because when this is done, this is going to be an old hippie's workhorse. I might even put a few stickers on it, like period correct stickers, maybe no peace signs or anything like that. But then I realized I had that little Gorilla amp that I found on Marketplace for like $5-10. And even though that amp didn't give me problems back then, and it was very limited, I didn't get to show off the amp, but we will. It was it's wonderful. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. I really do. And this thing hasn't really left my lap at home much since I've had it. I'm constantly tweaking it to make it mine. Thank you guys. Thank you.